Coming to you from the studios at the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, it's the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast.
Rock and roll Chicago, rock and roll Chicago, my hometown. Well, I was born in the city, gonna rock your city, Chicago. Chicago rock and rollers are the best you're ever around.
Hey everybody, it's Ray the Roadie.
And this is Hollywood Mike.
Coming to you with another exciting... No, that's not...
What?
Sounds like I'm at US 30 drag strip or something.
Coming to you another exciting race this Sunday.
Hey, trying something new.
See, that's what you get for doing something like that.
I know I shouldn't.
Anything new.
No, I just off the top of my head, I should probably plan this stuff.
Yeah. You know, so I've been trying something new, as you know. You've seen it.
Yeah, I have.
The new Black Cat.
Yeah. I saw this. So we're keeping it.
Yeah. You know what? I played it during the Cadillac Groove Show. And when you have in-ear monitors, you're not hearing the guitar amp. You know, you're hearing microphone placement and all that other stuff of, you know, the things on the stage. And I went home and I was like, okay, you know what? I need packing tape because I'm going to box this thing up and send it back. And then I started playing with it in my basement. And the basement's kind of boomy. Even though I've got sound deadening stuff, it's still a little boomy. And then I brought it out to the studio last night. And I was like, whoa, this is a different amplifier. Somebody may have switched it on me. No, but I mean, it was the same amplifier, but holy crap, did it have a different sound. So
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I might be holding on to this thing.
You're going to have to try it with Cadillac Groove again?
I don't think it's gonna make a difference because we have the in-ear monitors.
Oh, that's true.
It's always gonna sound a little weird, with it. But there is a direct out on it. So I'm wondering if I go with the direct out into the board, into the monitors, it might sound a little bit different. Maybe.
Well, good.
But so far so good. I'm enjoying it a little
That's
bit.
Great. So is that all we're going to talk about tonight, or?
I don't know. No. I don't know.
We've got Dave from the M80's sitting here at the table. I think he'd like to say a few things. How's it going, Dave?
The
It's
M80's,
funny.
that's it.
I just realized I replaced you last year at St. Patrick's Day over there at Gallagher's. I was your fill-in.
Oh my God, get out of here. Yeah, I've never met you. I remember that. You were my fill-in.
I was your fill-in.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny. And then you had like this mega fan that was here like, he's not as good. He doesn't know the things that we doesn't. And then Tom's like, don't worry about it, dude. She's just like really, big into him or something like that. I'm like, okay, fine. No big deal. So that's, it's funny as crap. And then we're just talking about this, so.
Wait, okay. All right. So don't mention any names. I'm not going to mention any names either.
Oh, I will.
How did this come about that you heard her saying stuff like that? Was she like talking behind your, just talking shit behind your back?
My back? I don't know. I think she's talking to Tom. So she went up to Tom and then said something and then, whatever. Whatever. Oh yeah. A guy who, Tom told me about this like a week before and I never did 99% of the stuff that you guys did. Never did it. Right. And so, I'm using my iPad trying to be all fancy and discreet and stuff like that. And read off this thing and do your job for the day, which is, it was awesome playing with the horn section behind you.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Just pounding you in the butt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wish it was, I wish that was the case because most of the time I have the trumpet player and he's pretty much nailing me in the back of the head. With the trumpet sound,
or Yoshi hitting you in the face.
Yeah, that's right. Goji.
Yeah, that's what I said. Goji.
It was a killer band. I mean, it was a blast to do. Especially because I'm more of a. With the M80's, I do something a little bit different because we do a new way. But then my normal singing voice is more like, hard rock, Sammy Hagar, Paul Rogers, things that ilk. That's more my natural singing voice. Right. Like that. And to be able to kind of belt out, 95, 6, 2, 4 was pretty freaking cool.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's a lot of fun. Man, what a small world. I can't even remember why I had to miss that gig.
I don't know.
It was in St. Patrick's Day gig.
Yeah, a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Gallagher's.
I'm wondering why I couldn't make that gig. I completely forgot why.
I think it was your anniversary or some day like that. Was it?
Well, it could be because today is my wedding anniversary.
See? I got memory for greats.
Yeah, today is my wedding anniversary. I'm going home.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, today is the day that my wife gets to acknowledge that she's put up with me for 29 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. Love you, babe. She lets me do all of this crazy horse shit.
Mm-hmm. Me and my wife have been married 30 years. We just went to London for it, and it was amazing.
Nice.
Oh, my God. It was just, you want to go there for rock and roll, for architecture, for history, you got to go to London. I mean, I went to where David Bowie did Ziggy Stardust. I went to Freddie Mercury's house. Went to Jimmy Page's house.
Have to.
Went to everything. You can think Royal Albert Hall. I mean, it's all there. You know, where the Beatles last the rooftop concert was, is now in Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh no! Is it really?
It is.
Is there a sign on the wall or outside the building?
I'll show you guys later. I have it over there. They're real respectful of history, unlike the States. And so, they have these big, think about this big plaques inside the building saying, on this day in, whatever, in 1971, the Beatles played the final concert. I'll quote this rooftop,
Right.
It's amazing that those plaques even sound British.
I know they do.
Yeah. And they're all over the place. I mean, I'm not into hockey, but they had I guess Lord Stanley has the cup or something from over there. And there's a plaque on the side of a building saying Lord Stanley Cup is from here.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Well, that is interesting. Wow. I never even thought about that.
Maybe you'll go to England for your 30th.
Now, and what was the name? I used to know it. What was the name of the pub where the Beatles played their first gig? Wasn't it called something like the Cave or something?
Well, the Cavern. The Cavern Club is in Liverpool. So we went there after we went to London. Okay. And that was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I mean, it's really, just you go over there is a whole different world.
Right.
But I will say this is that when you go to London, everyone talks very nice. Are you having a very lovely day? If you like to get to some place to eat, you get down here. But then when you go up to Liverpool, because they're across basically from Dublin, you can do this 20-minute flight, goes 10 times a day. And they're like, oh, you go over here, you get the most, you get on that, and then you talk about block, and I'm half deaf, because we're musicians.
Right.
And my wife looks at me and I'm like, she's like, I have no idea what the guy just said.
Yeah, he's part ogre or something like that.
Well, it's kind of like, what's his name? Robin Williams did a thing about that, about a Scottish guy.
Right.
You can't understand a thing he said.
not a thing. And they do crazy things over there too, because so the vice president of sales and marketing for the company that I work for, he actually lives there, and he's the member of a group called the Knights of Nottingham, and they are actually men who dress up in full armor and joust.
Cool.
They literally get on horses and try to knock each other off and impale each other with a wooden pole. And they actually do that for fun. And he finally retired, but he did it for many, many, many years. But this group has been, like he said, every single Robin Hood movie that you've seen over the past 20 years, the movie Gladiator with Russell Crowe, he's been in all those movies. They hire these guys. They hire these guys to play these roles.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, think about it. You don't have to hire a bunch of people to do fight coordination. We got a whole group of guys that beat the shit out of each other on a daily basis.
Right. This is how you get on your horse. We got this. Just get out of our way.
Move. So why are we here?
We're just hanging out. Forget the M80's.
We're just hanging out. Forget about it. No, that's what this program is about. It's like if people want to see your band, they can go see your band. But a lot of times people just want to know, hey, does the guy play golf? We're looking for a fourth.
Why not?
Does the band have a glockenspiel?
Yes. Do you have a glockenspiel?
No, actually don't. So we're auditioning now for glockenspiel and kazoo. So if you are multi-talented in the world of glockenspiel and kazoo,
yes,
give me a call.
First, you have to know, the prerequisite is you have to be able to spell glockenspiel.
That's right.
Yes.
You must.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and these guys aren't good at it, obviously, because they chose a band name with three,
right,
integers, digits, whatever the heck you want to call them.
A letter and a couple of numbers.
That's it.
We're musicians. We got to keep it simple, man.
Yeah, no more than three.
More than three. What did Lou Reed say? If it's 2 chords, it's rock and roll. 3 chords, it's jazz.
Yeah. But what is it when you record an entire LP of just static though? Because he did that as well.
Alternative?
I don't know.
I thought there was Neil Young's Weld when he did that, just record all album of feedback.
I think they call that Yoko Ono.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Let's not go there.
Jeez. So obviously, M80's, you're an 80s cover band.
Yes, actually, we are. Chicagoland's one of only 80s MTV era new wave bands. Right. We don't do hair metal. We don't do Journey. We don't do Bon Jovi. We don't do, Bryan Adams, any of that kind of stuff. We don't do classic rock. We don't do alternative, going on to the 90s and stuff like that. We stick strictly into 80s new wave because me and my drummer, Zig, we had this concept where we were in a previous band together. And we're like, well, you know as well as I do, you need a shtick. You can't just stay, you know, for people that, to me anyway, if you go playing, you know, Johnny Cash, then you're playing Journey, then you're playing this, playing that, then you could be stuck playing the same rinky-dink bars. I'm sorry. You got to pick a lane, you stick to it, and that's what you do. So we were trying to figure out, you can't even throw a rock without hitting an 80s hair metal band around here.
Right.
I mean, they're all over the place. And, you know, they do a great job. So let them do what they do. But the thing is, this lane of 80s new wave, which is the first half of the 80s, was huge. I mean, when MTV first came out, I mean, my God, they opened up with the Buggles. You know, video killed the radio star. But then they're going on. Duran Duran, Billy Idol, The Fix, The Cure, The Cult, NXS. All these bands were huge bands. Blondie, right? You know, and a lot of them are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now,
right? Because
they dominated that first half of the 80s. So we said, this is fun. It's upbeat. It's very different and unique. Women love it because it's fun and it's colorful. So I said, let's just do this. So that's what me and the drummer, when we started this, initially decided to do. And then we went along, and then you're trying to find musicians to kind of do this with. And problem is, we rehearsed in Whiting, Indiana.
Yeah, right.
You know, so a lot of people didn't want to drive all the way to Whiting. So eventually, you know, you do the same things, you know, put the ads out and blah, blah. And we got our drummer, our bassist, Dallas.
Right.
And he joined up on board. And then later on, we wanted to have a female singer with us as well, because a lot of those things from back then, when you're talking about Berlin, you're talking Blondie, Animotion, I go on and on and on. It has a female foil. So we have Janice, who's our female singer. So I sing about 60%. She sings about 40%. We do a number of songs together where we throw things like, don't you want me, baby?
I saw that video.
You know, so, you know, we're doing that. And then, you know, doing Obsession by Animotion. Your obsession. So with the male and female vocals, it's just a powerful thing to come together in a unique thing to come together. So that's how we went about it.
How many in the band total?
4.
Okay.
Yeah. I play guitar and sing. Okay. I'm the only guitar player in the band. We have a bassist who also doubles on a little bit of keys. Right. We have our drummer, and we have Janice.
Okay. So you got a bass player that doubles on the keys. So he puts the bass down and he's playing all the bass notes on the keyboard as well. And
yeah.
Excellent. That works.
Yeah.
Works for Geddy Lee.
Yeah. Well, he does with his feet and his hands and his, he's a freak of nature.
He could play with his butt cheeks if he had to, I'm sure. He pretty much could. Yeah. So let's go back and talk about this whole thing. You know, we started talking about hair band and everything else. And I'm a child of the 80s. I graduated from high school in 1988. And going back, I always remember hair metal.
Yeah.
Was the alternative of the mid 80s until real alternative like Nirvana came around and killed them all.
Exactly.
But you know, I was, you know, back in 5th grade, I remember the big thing was, you know, all the guys wanted to be cool, right? So I went to a little Catholic school, and I remember a whole bunch of kids got sent home one day because they decided, hey, we're going to bring the Blizzard of Oz. We're going to bring Ozzy Osbourne, the Blizzard of Oz album to school. And we're all going to, you know, lunch hour, we're all going to read the jacket and stuff. And of course, you know, Sister Mary Holywater comes walking in and she sees this album cover, Ozzy Osbourne, with the upside down cross, and he's on his knees and everything, and he's got the thing in the forehead like Charles Manson. And you know, she pretty much has a conniption fit and says blasphemer, and throws everybody out and takes the album, literally breaks them, throws them in the trash, and send everybody home because we were listening to the devil's music.
That's right.
They're in Catholic grade school. And then along comes around 7th grade, along comes Motley Crue. And you had by the way, they were all called heavy metal at the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They sound nothing like heavy metal today. I mean, I listened to Motley Crue from that era, and I'm like, this isn't metal. This is just rock and roll music.
It's glam to me. If you really kind of listen to old Motley Crue, you know, especially the first album, had a lot of David Bowie and that kind of glam T-Rex kind of a thing to it, you know. Then later on, they started getting more, you know, still commercial. Right. I mean, you know, they're great, really good songwriters. So that's what it all boils down to at the end of the day.
Right. I loved their Too Fast for Love album, and then along comes Shout at the Devil. Right. That's when you started hearing those other types of influences. But I remember while all of that stuff was kind of in the background, what you heard on the radio all the time was Prince and Michael Jackson and stuff like the Animotion, and, you know, and I mean, it was pop 80s radio. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the hair metal comes around, and it was literally like the alternative of the 80s era. So when did that, I'm trying to remember when that came in. About what year were you hearing stuff like Cinderella and
87?
something like that.
86, 87. Because you had Whitesnake with the Whitesnake 87 album came out. Here I Go Again, It's Still the Night, and all that would come out. Right. So all that stuff kind of hit. It hit hard and everything else. And I think Slippery When Wet was probably about 85.
I think so. I think it was about 85. Right?
So that came, and then Cinderella came in probably about 87, 88.
Right.
So. And a lot of those bands, to me, I think it got a bad rap because, Cinderella to me was not really a hair metal band. They got marketed initially with the first album because that was just the look. But, to me, they're a bunch of blues rock. Tom Kiefer's a great slide player and they're really good songs, which is what it boils down to at the end of the day. Either you're a good songwriter.
Right.
Or you're a half-ass band and the ones you're going to remember the ones with the great songs.
Right.
That's why Beatles are gods.
Right.
Because they are the best songwriters on the planet.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. The one band that I still listen to and have seen many times out of that era is Tesla. Yeah. And they tried to do the same thing to Tesla. They tried to put the Aquanet in their hair and the whole bit and turn them into a hair band. But they were one of the bands that were like, yeah, no, we don't do that. That's not us. And you want to talk about just a quintessential blues band. When they came out with that 5-man acoustical jam album, everybody realized that, man, these are blues guys. These are blues musicians.
That's what it is.
They're fantastic. They really are.
Absolutely.
Wow. I tell you, I can talk about 80s music.
I can go all day. Believe me, I have 8,000 CDs, so believe me, I can go all day long.
Yeah. I had probably about that much. I had a CD rack about the size of this wall right here, just all CDs. And finally one day
he's pointing to a big wall.
Yeah, big wall. Yeah. 10 feet high and 12 feet wide or so. And I just had no room to keep all those things anymore.
I could have given them to me. I just added to my collection. Me and the wife actually, collect together. So it's a really good addiction for the two of us to have. And I have 2 of those, by the way.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
So it gives you an idea. Having another one made right now. So it's kind of like,
okay.
It's a serious addiction.
Old stereo to play them on?
3 of them.
3 of them? Nice. Yeah.
One in each level of the house.
Yeah. Excellent.
And plus a CD player in the car.
Yeah.
Try and find that nowadays.
I do have one in my truck. I do have a CD player in the truck. In fact, I had a stereo that looked almost like the one that's kind of behind you right there.
He's pointing to a stereo on on a shelf.
I was 15 years old, so I wasn't of legal age to work or anything. And there was a lady that owned a Hallmark store and by a White Hen Pantry by my house.
Okay.
And growing up, and I walked in one day and said, I need a job because my father wanted me to go caddy at the Medina Country Club, and I'm not carrying anybody's golf bag. Are you kidding me? That sucks. So I said, I'll go work in the card store. And she says, well, I can't really do anything. And she goes, you good with carpentry and stuff like that? Sure.
Whatever. Pay me.
Yeah. So she literally paid me to build shelves in a bathroom in her stock room at 15 years old. And then the store, I'm in the middle of doing this. We finish it up, got the toilet working in the whole bit. And, then she goes, well, I've run out of money. I have to close the store down. She goes, she gave me like $50 and she goes, that stereo that you were listening to while you've been working in the bathroom? Yeah. She goes, you can have it. Right. And it was this old Lloyd's. Lloyd's,
right? Lloyd
had an 8-track in it, had a cassette, had the record player. Everything was built into it and stuff.
Yep.
And then I donated it to the gym that I used to work out at our local park district, and they remodeled the entire building and demolished the building with my stereo in it.
Oh.
So then I went on a 10-year journey. I finally found one on eBay and bought another one exactly like it. It might even be my stereo, and they just took it and put it on eBay and didn't tell me.
Bought back your stereo. Hey, I put that dent in there.
Damn, this looks familiar.
Yeah, that's right. So where'd you come in from?
New Lenox.
Oh, okay. So you're
I'm born and raised in New Lenox, and so yes, I have a New Lenox bassist from Okina. Girl singers from Munster and drummers from Whiting.
Munster. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, I drove from here to Whiting for practice.
Wow.
Every week. So it's a little bit of a drink of water for it, But, what can you do? You usually got to go where the drummer is.
Yeah. You hear what he said? Once a week he drives for practice.
Once a week.
I don't know what that is. What is this practice thing you speak of?
well, we just started. Well, kind of like you guys, we're gigging so much. We've been gigging a lot. And so we didn't practice, but now we want to add songs. So then let's get together, learn the new tracks and get together. And so stuff doesn't get stale after a while. Right. So yeah, we did that. Yeah. And we're auditioning actually for a full-time keyboardist right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you know of any keyboardists out there want to do new wave.
Have you ever had a keyboard player in the band?
No.
Okay.
Now, like say, really the bassist plays a little bit of keys and stuff like that, but we want to have a dedicated
full-time
guy because
full-time person,
that stuff back then is so keyboard laden that you had to.
A very distinctive keyboard sound as well.
That's the kick. Really, it's not even a matter of skills, it's a matter of developing the sound.
You have to have that sound. Yeah.
You really do. And that's the tricky part of doing new wave because as I'm telling people, some friends of mine are like, well, we're doing new wave. I said, have you tried playing it? Yeah. Well, I know. It's until you get down and you learn something like one thing leads to another, that funky right hand rhythm and different things you're doing, you don't know because most rock is very blues based. If you go in Zeppelin, Bad Company or whatever the case may be, you go, dun, 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 dun. You're doing the same crap. But then once you start getting into this, which is, funkier, has a little bit of the funk alternative, early alternative stuff, punk.
Right.
And you're trying to approach that. I mean, I'm going from doing, should I stay or should I go now to one thing leads to another to doing New Sensation to doing, Missing Persons.
Right.
So you can't get more disparate than all those different influences.
Right. I think a lot of it's very similar to the blues genre in the fact that it's not difficult to play. It's just so different to play that you're not used to it. You don't know exactly when to come in, Sometimes you have to come in behind the beat. In 80s. And people don't understand that. And you get the same thing with blues. They're like, I'm not playing that stuff. It's primitive music. It's simple. It's stupid. Okay, then do it.
Yeah. Serious. I'm a smart ass. Go ahead.
Yeah. In fact, it was just at the jam. It was just at the jam last night where a group of guys wanted to play Blue Monday. Right. Okay. And people were complaining, that's real simple. Come on, we got to do something different. And the drummer's like, well, go ahead and play it. He laid down the beat and nobody could do it. They couldn't get it together. They're like, and it's so simple. Dun, 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 and nobody could follow it.
Yeah. No, tricky thing also with us is that, so I had to learn how to play effects in a way, like you're getting delays and they have to be, let's just say you're doing, Iran. A flock of seagulls.
Oh, yeah.
John. I sat there for freaking hours trying to get that exact pattern and exact spacing. Because if you don't have it, the song goes to crap.
Mm-hmm. Not an easy song.
No. So you have to do that and try to and sing it at the same time. And so it's all those different unique things. Or doing words by Missing Persons. I'm going distorted, clean, back and forth. And what we do is kind of a unique thing. I'll think you guys do this, but well, you're using real amps, whereas I'm using a Headrush MX5, a pedal.
Sure, right.
Okay.
Right.
So what I did is I created all the sounds, and then we have our computer does the changes for me. So I could be way over on the other side of the stage doing a lead, and this thing's doing all my changes for me. I don't even have to touch it. It's brilliant.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And you need something like that for all the sounds that you need to come up with and produce in the type of music that you're playing.
Well, then, and you're a singer like I am, you can do the dang tap dance. You're trying to sing, and then you can put your foot around here, and next thing you know, wrong patch. Oh crap. But then you still got to sing this song and be in beat.
Yep.
So
hence the recent acquisition of the black cat or the bad cat amplifier that I bought because I hate pedal boards. I've got to sing. I got to shake a little ass. I got to remember lyrics, right? And the last thing you want to do is do the tap dance.
Exactly.
And I wanted an amplifier that I can control with the volume knob on my guitar because I always know where that is.
It's simple.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my favorite amp actually is I have a PV Delta Blues with 115. Right. Love the amp.
Great amp.
I love it to death. But really, I've gotten quite lazy all I bring is a pedal board, 2 guitars, a stand, and a bag.
Yeah.
That's all I bring. Whereas before you bring in your amp, you bring in your amp stand, you bring in 2 guitars, you bring in your, blah, da, 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 da. And after a while, like, come on. I got enough crap to do, then you got to bring a backup amp. Right. I just bring a backup pedal board now. It's the same thing. I have all my settings in there. So just like I got all in one bag. So I'm taken care of. And it sounds great. 99% of the people don't know. Now, us musicians go, it's not a too bad, but it's not this good.
Yeah.
You know, but you know what?
Come on, bro.
Most people don't know.
You know, you're a guitar player. Yeah.
The 6L6 has got to be burning, man.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, I listened to quite a few of your videos. You guys have a really good song selection.
Thank you.
And it's not easy songs.
No,
Every single song that you guys have picked is pretty difficult to play. The one that the one that really stuck out, because I know I was in a band that played it and I can't remember the name of it. The song from the Breakfast Club. Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not an easy song to do.
No.
That's another one of those that's got kind of like you got to find the rhythm in that song, especially if you're playing guitar and singing at the same time.
Well, I always thought I should approach it like if Maiden did it.
Yeah.
So, I do like dunk digga dunk digga dunk digga dunk digga dunk digga dunk digga dunk.
Yeah.
Don't you forget about me. And try and go like that. Then I just kind of, and the tricky part is just like, da da hey hey. That what I'm doing is I'm hitting the vibrato bar while I'm going hey 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 hey, and then I hit the other chord. That I hit the harmonic up here and hit dive bomb that while still singing.
Oh God.
So that's the tricky part to try to pull all that off.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, I think he should whip out the old Git fiddle over there.
I think so. I think he should get it.
Studio.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Rock and Roll Chicago Podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Anthony. I'd like to thank my radio brothers, Ray the Roadie and Hollywood Mike, for allowing me to tell you about my podcast, the Someone You Should Know podcast. We spotlight musicians, authors, and interesting people, and we like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. The podcast is heard twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and you can check it out on your favorite streaming platforms and on the web at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast.com. That's the Someone You Should Know podcast with me, Rick Anthony. Making a difference, one artist at a time.
I'm Christy from Crime Cave Podcast. I've had a huge interest in true crime since my days of watching marathons of Snapped back in the mid-90s. I needed an outlet to talk about the cases that have haunted me for a very long time. With each episode under 20 minutes, I shine a light on some of the most bizarre cases in the last 50 years. Join me in the Crime Cave.
So apparently, for the first time ever, Unplugged, take it away.
All right.
The deception with tech. Just what are you trying to say? You got a blank face, which irritates. Communicate but not your body piece. You see dimensions into state your case of black or white. But with one little cross, they shot Mr. T. You must recover so discreet. Why don't they do what they say? Say what you mean. One thing leads to another. Told me something wrong and no one listened along with it. One thing leads to another. The impression that you sell passes in and out like sand. But the known face that you see comes to living close to your fears. His fist is up in him, up and then you run out of sight. Bigger the harder he falls. But with the world at your door, it's like a bulge on the throat. You must cover in his heat. Why don't they do what they say? Say what you mean. One thing leads to another. Told me something wrong, and no one listened along with it. One thing leads to another. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One thing leads to another. Though it's easy to believe somebody's been lying to me, but when the wrong word goes in the right ear, I know you've been lying to me. If this is up and I'm up and then you're running out of sight, they your name on the wall, but when the wrong gets your door, it's like a bulge on the throat. You must cover in this heat. Why don't they do what they say? Say what you mean. One thing leads to another. Told me something wrong and no one listened along with it. One thing leads to another. One thing leads to another. One thing leads to another. One thing leads to another.
I can't believe he picked that song. That is so cool. You have no idea how many times I've tried to get somebody to play that song.
Really?
Yeah.
Acoustically?
No, not
just to play it.
Just to play the song, because I love that funky, almost Nile Rodgers guitar style, thing in it. It's awesome.
It's all right here, man. It's just like I said, you're going.
Yeah.
If you don't have that,
you have to
right,
do that.
And you got to be consistent the whole song. And it took me a while to try and sing that and play that at the same time.
Absolutely.
You almost just got to put that in autopilot, forget you're doing it.
Yeah.
Just sing it.
Yep.
That's exactly right. God, that's such a cool song. That's just a great song.
It is.
It really is. They were a great band.
Totally overlooked that song.
And a Rock and Roll Chicago podcast exclusive.
That's right. It's an exclusive anywhere because he has never played.
That's right.
Done the acoustic solo.
I've never done that song unplugged.
Okay,
I do acoustic shows quite often.
Oh, sure. Okay.
But like when I do, I'm called the acoustic rocker when I do solo shows. And so I do everything from Elvis to Oasis, Beatles, Bodines, to Bon Jovi to current classic country, whatever they pay me. I don't care.
Right.
So I just do that.
The 80s music is, I think the hook of it's a genre. Yeah, I mean, you can call 80s music a genre. You really can.
You can, yeah.
And it's the hook to it is the fact that the songwriting back then, I should say the lyric writing, you could write about anything. Nowadays, okay, it's got to be a love song, or it's got to be, you have to have some type of a topic. But back then, you can write about anything. I mean, just write about absolutely anything that you want to write about. It didn't matter. As long as the words rhymed and the chord progressions were great and it had a hook, everything was great. And people love to sing along with it.
That's true.
I mean, that's earmarks of a great song right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated. Like I was watching what's his name? Rick, the guitar guy on YouTube, who's on all the time. He was talking about songs with just two chords.
Yeah.
Like Horse and No Name, same two chords, the entire song, or Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, same two chords. Never thought about it, Yeah. But the great songs.
Yeah, plain and simple. You just have to have a hook.
You do.
Something memorable. People want to sing along to it. They want to, tap their toe to it and do whatever.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, it was great. Wow.
So where did this M80's name come from?
I stole it from a friend of mine. Actually, one of my best friends, Sean, he's a sound man, was in the year he moved to Florida. And him and Ron, I guess, were talking about doing sponsoring a bunch of youngins to do new wave stuff. And this is the band name that they came up with to do it. So then I just said, I'm going to do the new wave thing. So I'll take that. Thank you. So I just ran with it. And there's other M80's around the country. We're M80's Chicago.
Right.
So you got, to differentiate from Yngwie Malmsteen and Yngwie J. Malmsteen.
Well, Ron, if you're listening, he's here right now in the studio if you want to come and get him.
Bring it on, I know where he lives.
Yeah. So I guess where's home base for you guys? Where are the places that you play most?
We've been playing all over the place. I mean, it's just we've been together a little over a year.
Okay.
And since June 30th, we've done about 25 gigs.
I was going to say, you guys got you have quite a bit of footage out there on the internet, on the internets there for not being together that long.
Well, we tape it. We videotape every show so we can sit there the next day and go, okay, that was good.
Yes.
That sucked. You're flat there.
You're not supposed to. Don't do that to yourself.
We do. And we just torture ourselves like that. So we just want the product to be as best as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm the one who does 95% of the booking. I'm the one who does all the phone calls and knocking on the doors and everything else. Now I've also used, United Talent and Steve Coleman, who's another guy who's put us up with a couple of events. But majority is just me calling up, talking to different venues and saying, hey, this is what we did. This is where, we were like. So we own our own PA.
Yep.
So, which is a great thing. So we have a real nice QSC system. So we can walk into a venue and have top flight sound and lights and everything. So we can do the full package. But definitely prefer when you go to like we played at, now called Humo's, used to be Brower House.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we played there Saturday.
Oh, okay.
On a big stage and stuff like that. And they have their own sound on it, lights, everything there. That was great, man. I just
you played the back room?
Yeah, the big room stage. In the back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice stage.
So that part of it's still there.
Yeah, the whole thing's still there.
The whole thing's still there. They just kind of changed the name and everything.
Yeah, they just changed the name. The Brower House name's still on the front.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. All
so,
right.
yeah, so if you tell people to go to Humo's, they're like, where's Brower?
Yeah, they're using the Brower House Facebook page too.
Yeah. Are they really?
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
It's like change the name.
Yeah. Right.
Either go with it or don't. So, since half the band lived in Indiana, I said, well, I was trying to be nice and book some Indiana venues, So we had one down in Rensselaer. Now we got one in the March. We're playing out in Valpo.
Okay.
There. Then we're going to be playing no place in Cherville. So we got a few Indiana gigs.
Right.
But majority have been my goal with the band. I want to go north of 88 because what I want to do is establish us as the new wave band in the Chicagoland area.
Right.
There's a few others that are kind of doing similar stuff, but I want to be the band, known for this. And, as well as I do, just got to knock on doors, play, get the following one at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan to me.
Is there a favorite place you guys like to play?
Honestly, I played a lot of clubs. You know how it goes. I like Brower House a lot, and not because we just play there, because it's a good rock club. As well as I do. Some places you play at, it's a sports bar, or they stick you in a corner, one on the floor, one bulb, there's your light, and I don't really like those places at all, because it's kind of like, they're there to watch the TV. When they don't turn the TV off, I just want to go smack somebody.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And plus, if the game is on, then they're paying attention to that, not paying attention to you. It's just aggravating. So I like playing places that are dedicated to music, that you're there for the purpose of entertaining that crowd and not having another alternative source.
Right.
Yeah.
That's almost like a pipe dream in the Chicago area, because, places either want cover bands, and most of the time you're almost like a jukebox, in a way, right?
Yes.
So to find those places that are just dedicated music venues around here, we need more. We need to have more.
Absolutely.
I go to so many other cities, I travel around to so many other cities, and it's shocking to me how I can go to some small town in somewhere in Minnesota, and there's more live music venues dedicated to live music than in the entire city of Chicago.
You go down to like Tampa, St. Pete. It's always been very active musically, so that's great.
Right.
They're doing music 4, 5, 7 nights a week down there, which is an awesome thing. Whereas in here, we're in the third largest city in the country.
Yeah. Right.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Live music one night, DJ the next night.
That's right.
That's pretty much the way it goes.
Or bingo or questions or some crap. It's just, I think it's so disrespectful to musicians when they do that, when they leave the TVs on there, when they don't pay attention, or else. I'm not a sports person, so for anyone who is, I'm sorry, but I hate playing when they make you wait 2 or 3 hours after the game's over, to play. So, we don't have the game on. Well, wait a second. Then you bitch at us because our crowd didn't stick around. Well, because you had us play 2 hours after the fact.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's right. Well, it's like, you're paying us X amount of dollars, right? You're not paying us that amount of money to play for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You're paying us to haul all that shit around.
Absolutely. I told my kid the exact same thing, literally last week.
Yeah.
I would play for free.
Yeah.
If I had somebody, all I had to do is walk on stage, hand me a guitar, I'll sing, do my 3-4 hours of tap dance, and get done, hand the guitar back later, have a nice night.
Yeah.
But, you're paid for leaving the house at 5, for dragging equipment there, setting it all up, doing the sound check, having a blast of feedback. Hey, then, every freaking time. Then you do, you play your gig, you get done, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're stinky, then you drag it all back in the car and you go home and go, I got to bring it up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. And then we're all going to go to a podcast and we're going to bitch and moan about how much we hate it and what a hassle this is and this sucks. And then we're going to be back out there on Friday and Saturday night doing everything that we absolutely love doing, so we can complain about it again.
That's right.
That's just it. I think that's an
You're
addiction.
spot on.
I think that's an addiction.
It is an addiction.
That's the quintessential definition of an addiction.
We're either addicted or the stupidest people on the planet. I mean, it's one of the two, you know what I'm saying?
Or a little bit of both.
Yeah, maybe I think a little bit of both sometimes when you do the stuff.
So I know your fans out there are saying to themselves, what's Dave's history? What did he do before the M80's?
Oh, well, how far back you want to go?
As far back as you want. I mean,
I was born a
embryo
poor black child. Okay. Well, no, I'll just kind of give the brief rundown.
He was my understudy in Cadillac Groove. We already talked about that.
That's right.
That was my first started music. I was the understudy. So yeah, but I've been playing for 40 years and I've been singing pretty much my whole life. It's just, I've just been one of those guys who always like to entertain, do impersonations and everything else. So then, well, I started playing guitar at 14 because like most teenagers, you're trying to find yourself. And so I started, picked up a guitar and said, hey, I look pretty cool as opposed to the dork I normally look like. And so I started playing, practicing, learning, getting initial bands and stuff. And then I was playing around the area, all the typical haunts and stuff between here and Indiana and everything else. And probably for me, really getting into, I had a band back in 2010 called Red DB that we played all over the place. And we did 52 shows our first year out. Boom. Which is a lot. Yeah. First time out. And like I said, I booked 99% of these things too. Right. So with that band, we kind of did, typical rock and roll, Sammy Hagar, Aerosmith, the Cult, things like that, harder rocking, stuff like that, UFO. I had another really great guitar player who I delegated most of the leads to because he was more of the Van Halen school. He did that well. And so we played there we did that for about 2.5 years. Then I left from there, joined this other band called, what's the name of that one? Hit Parade. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
After a while, you forget. So we did Hit Parade for about 1.5 years or so, and they did more, pop stuff, Journeys, usual things,
I was going to say, and that was the magazine from back in the 80s where that featured Parade, a lot of those guys.
So then I did that. I joined a band called Rock This Way, which is primarily an Aerosmith tribute. We did like 90% Aerosmith, everything from Mama Kin all the way up to Pink, so we did everything in between and a few other scattering of other stuff. And then I joined another band after that, which was, I know I'm leaving a few out. Oh, well. Then after that, joined up a band. Initially was called 8-Track, which was a 70s rock tribute. And we morphed from that into Shock the System, which we were doing, like I said, Sammy Hagar and Kiss and Alice Cooper and stuff like that. And then me and a drummer who's with me now met there. Then we started this. So...
yeah, excellent.
That's the short version. I was as we were talking about, I was in radio for a number of years. I was a salesman for the Cat 105.5. Yeah. And even then I did a on-air band with Mike Tomato, the morning personality. So that was rather comical. We did like spoofs of songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We did, we opened for this funny thing. We opened as this country band one time over there at the Shanahan Lanes. And, again, it was a spoof band, right?
Sure, right.
So, we opened up. We came out in a country crowd. Big, huge boobs. Semi-drag. Right. And we opened up with Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And this country crowd just looked at us like, it's like, we're going to hurt you.
Oh my God, that's got to be hilarious.
It was fun. I wish I had videotape of that one. That'd be good.
Wow, that's crazy.
So where can people find you guys socially, social media wise, whatever? And
well, we have a website, M80's Chicago. So M80's Chicago.com. So you can go on there. If you're on Facebook, M80 Chicago. And if you Instagram for all the young pups out there under 30, we have M80 Chicago. So we make it nice and simple like that. So, but we're playing it anywhere and everywhere. Playing March 23rd, we're over at Embers, Lockport. March 30th, we're out in Valpo. April 5th, we're at, we used to be called Heroes. Now it used to be
the Quarry.
Now it's Heroes.
Yeah, now it's Heroes.
So playing there, April 5th, we're opening up with Animation, which is a Rush tribute. Then April 12th, we're playing at Mugshots, which is in Homer Glen.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So that's just ones that come kind of quickly to mind, but we have the whole listing on there.
He did all of that without looking at his phone.
That's right. Very rare that people do that. Usually they're fumbling with their phone. Let me say.
Because I booked the things.
So
I'm always thinking this. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, we got to get the sound manual for this thing. We got to get this. We got to get this. So
Yeah. Right. Nice.
So can you take us out with another tune?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All righty.
Ready? Yep. When you close your eyes and you fall asleep, sounds to the sound of a heartbeat. I can hear the things that you're dreaming about. When you open up your heart and the truth comes out. You tell me that you love me. You tell me that you need me. You tell me that you want me. And I know that I'm right, 'cause I hear it in the night. I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, when I hold you in my arms at night. Don't you know you're sleeping in a spotlight? And all the things that you keep inside. Open up your heart and just can't hide. You tell me that you want me. You tell me that you need me. You tell me that you love me. And I know that I'm mine, 'cause I hear it in the night. I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, when you close your eyes and you fall asleep. Everything about you is a mystery. You tell me that you want me. You tell me that you need me. You tell me that you love me. And you know that I'm right, 'cause I hear it in the night. I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep. When you're talking in your sleep, I hear the secrets that you keep.
All right. Man.
Yeah, I heard them secrets.
Yeah, I can listen to 80s music all day.
If I could bring up one more thing. Actually, I released my first solo.
No, you've had your time.
Okay, there. See you later.
That's another podcast. You're done.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I released my first solo CD of original music 4 years ago, which has been, for me, a huge labor of love. I mean, for me, I've been blessed to be able to open for Heart and Soul Asylum, Smithereens, Foghat, blah, 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 blah. But for me, the biggest thing is to release that CD of all original music, because, when you're doing covers, you don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. Of course. You know who you are as Paul Rogers, Bad Company. You know how you are doing this, that, and the other. But you never find out who your voice is. And so that's the one thing that really was great. And the CD, if I had to describe it, nothing new wave at all.
Right.
It's more like if Paul Rogers of Bad Company joined the Eagles and had Ted Nugent on guitar.
Ah, well.
Okay.
So it's kind of a mosh.
And it's called?
Think Outside the Burning Box.
The Burning Box. Okay.
And where is it available?
They can come up to me at any show, and I'm more than happy to sell you one. When I do acoustic shows, I sell at the acoustic shows and stuff like that. And you go on my personal website is daveballahmusic.com. So
you can get it there too.
All right. Excellent. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
We could have talked a bit more about that.
I want to talk about the band. The band's what's out there. We're really pushing it hard. You know, we put a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, money, everything else. And
plus they said, don't you dare bring up that goddamn CD.
Yeah. Tired of hearing about the CDs.
It's about the band, man. Don't talk about that freaking CD.
Use it as a coaster next time.
That's it. Yeah. It's a coaster. It's a real deadly weapon like Top Hat of James Bond. You know.
All righty, Dave. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a lot of fun.
Great meeting you. A lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank
absolutely.
you. Boom, baby.
Boom, baby. Huh?
Boom, man. That was the M80's.
M80's.
Or at least one M80.
At least one. Yeah. 25% of the M80.
Yeah.
What's 25% of an? I think that's just a black cat then.
I think it'd be an M20.
It's more like a.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Fizzes a little bit. And to get it to blow up, you got to hit, stamp on it with your heel.
the snappets or poppets or whatever.
Yeah. Or those snakes that used to come out of the. You light those things and the snakes would come out.
I hated the smell of those things.
They did stink, and they left a black mark on the
sidewalk.
Yeah, my dad's always slapping the shit out of me because I was, what are you doing?
Yeah. Remember, the red caps, and you hit it with a rock.
Yep. That was cool too.
That's if we were lucky enough to find a rock.
That's right. So, instead of the fireworks in the 4th of July, that was the M80. One M80.
Yeah.
That was great, man. He's right. You know, this new wave type music, there really aren't many bands out there when you think about it.
There's all kinds of 80s hair metal, but nobody's doing the stuff that they're doing, the 80s pop stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really unique. I think they're going to go a long way.
They've got a lot of videos online, too. I was really, I mean, their song selection is really, really cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's impressive. It's stuff I haven't heard in ages.
Yeah, I mean, who thinks of that? They actually do a really good cover of Love Shack by the B-52s.
That's cool. I always liked that song. That song. But well, that was very cool. It was nice hearing from Dave. And as always, thanks for listening. And tune in every Tuesday for another exciting episode of the Rock and Roll Chicago podcast. See ya.
The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast is edited by Paul Martin. Theme song courtesy of M&R Rush. The Rock and Roll Chicago podcast does not own the rights to any of the music heard on the show. The music is used to promote the guests that are featured.
Roll Chicago, rock and roll.